It was one of the most pivotal air battles in history, outnumbered, outgunned, and yet, unbroken. The Battle of Britain wasn't just about planes in the sky, it was about raw courage, sacrifice, and a nation standing firm in the face of darkness. Before we dive into the heroism and high stakes of this defining World War II moment, hit that like button and subscribe for more powerful stories from the past that still inspire today. 1. Britain stands alone against the Nazi war machine. After France fell in June 1940, Britain became Hitler's next and only major remaining opponent. Germany believed air superiority was vital before launching a full-scale land invasion of Britain. Hitler's Operation Sea Lion depended on crushing the Royal Air Force to clear the invasion path. The Luftwaffe prepared to bomb airfields, ports, and infrastructure across southern England daily. Britain, isolated but defiant, vowed to resist alone and rallied citizens behind total war effort. Churchill's speeches ignited courage, declaring, "We shall never surrender," in Parliament halls. With the United States not yet involved, Britain stood as the final line of democratic defense. 2. Hitler's Luftwaffe launches relentless aerial attacks. The German Luftwaffe unleashed wave after wave of bombers to destroy Britain's aerial defenses. Junkers, Heinkels, and Dorniers swarmed over southern England escorted by deadly fighters. Their goal was clear: destroy the Royal Air Force and make a ground invasion unstoppable. Every day, sirens wailed as formations darkened skies and bombs rained down on runways. Factories, radar posts, and even civilian areas became targets in this aerial war of attrition. The Germans hoped Britain would crumble under constant bombardment and psychological fear. But British resolve proved harder to break than German generals had anticipated. 3. The role of radar in Britain's defense strategy. Britain pioneered the use of radar, giving the Royal Air Force crucial minutes to prepare for enemy attacks. The chain home system stretched along the coast, detecting German aircraft miles before arrival. Radar operators identified wave directions, altitude, and strength with impressive precision. Controllers relayed this intel to fighter bases, guiding pilots to precise interception points. This Dowding system, named after Air Chief Marshal Hugh Dowding, revolutionized air defense. Radar gave defenders a silent advantage: time, coordination, and maximum deployment efficiency. Without radar, pilots would have been caught off guard and overwhelmed by sheer enemy numbers. 4. The courage of the few Royal Air Force pilots in action. Churchill called them the few, in tribute to their bravery, young men who defended their skies. Royal Air Force pilots flew Spitfires and Hurricanes, scrambling daily to confront enemy bombers in waves. Most were barely out of school, some from other countries, all fueled by duty and passion. They fought multiple missions daily with little rest, facing death in spinning chaos above. Dogfights were fierce, twisting duels of survival between skillful defenders and invaders. The smell of fuel, the roar of engines, the shriek of bullets defined their new daily reality. 5. Civilian resolve and the spirit of the home front. While pilots battled above, civilians endured terror below, bombs falling on homes and streets. Cities like London, Coventry, and Southampton were relentlessly attacked in nightly raids. Families slept in underground shelters or subway tunnels to escape the roaring devastation. Fires blazed in city centers, while emergency crews rushed to pull survivors from rubble. Even as buildings crumbled, citizens refused to bow to Nazi fear tactics and chaos. Posters urged calm, resilience, and unity. "Keep calm and carry on" became a national mantra. Schoolchildren were evacuated to countryside towns to shield them from bombing danger. 6. The battle's turning point. Daylight attacks repelled. By late August 1940, the Royal Air Force was strained but still standing, defending airfields under siege. German strategy began shifting toward bombing major cities to break British morale entirely. However, this shift relieved pressure on airbases and allowed the Royal Air Force to recover and regroup. Fighters intercepted daylight bombing raids with renewed energy and better coordination. The Luftwaffe suffered increasing losses, unable to control the skies for long enough periods. German bombers became vulnerable as escorts had limited fuel range and were forced back. The British fighters exploited these gaps, downing aircraft in droves during fierce resistance. 7. The role of international pilots in Royal Air Force success. Britain welcomed Allied pilots from many nations, heroes who chose to defend freedom abroad. Polish squadrons became legendary, especially 303 Squadron, with exceptional kill records. Czechs, Canadians, South Africans, and New Zealanders brought skill and fierce determination. American volunteers also flew in the Eagle squadrons before the US officially joined the war. Many had escaped Nazi invasions in Europe and were driven by vengeance and deep loyalty. Language barriers were overcome by shared goals and quick battlefield learning in the air. 8. German miscalculations and strategic failures. The Luftwaffe underestimated Britain's radar, pilot recovery, and aircraft manufacturing. Hitler assumed British morale would break after prolonged bombing, but it only strengthened. German bombers lacked sufficient fighter escort, leaving them open to British retaliation. Fuel range limits meant Luftwaffe fighters often had to retreat mid-battle, exposing bombers. Changing strategy from airfield attacks to cities was a critical and costly tactical mistake. It allowed the Royal Air Force breathing room to regroup and repair critical defenses just in time. Germany also failed to target key radar stations effectively, missing a major British advantage. 9. Churchill's leadership and the power of words. Winston Churchill's speeches became vital weapons rallying a weary nation under siege. He spoke in Parliament and over the radio, calling on Britain's spirit and historical pride. His words were fierce yet poetic, reminding people that their sacrifice had global meaning. "We shall fight on the beaches, we shall never surrender," became a national call to arms. He visited bombed cities, met with families, and walked among ruins to share in the pain. Churchill's refusal to negotiate with Hitler reassured allies and defied global expectations. His leadership fused strategy, inspiration, and defiance into a singular force of unity. 10. The battle's legacy. A turning point in World War II. The Battle of Britain marked the first major defeat for Hitler's military machine in the war. It shattered the myth of Nazi invincibility and offered hope to occupied nations worldwide. It proved that air power could determine national survival in the modern age of warfare. The victory gave time for the United States and Soviet Union to enter the war and mobilize. British morale surged, knowing they could resist even the most powerful war machine. It laid the foundation for Allied cooperation and future counter-offensives in Europe. The battle is now seen as the front line that saved Western Europe from total domination. Its veterans are honored for defending liberty in the face of overwhelming destruction. The air war transformed military strategy and shaped the future of aviation technology. The skies over Britain became a battlefield where bravery soared and history was made. Which moment from this battle moved you the most? Let me know in the comments. And if stories of resilience, sacrifice, and real-life courage inspire you, hit that like button and subscribe for more unforgettable chapters from history's toughest trials. See you in the next video.